new things happen, as we brag about the good that's going on, it's important for us to pause and say thank you to the visionary voters of Travis County that have set us on this path. And with that, let me now introduce Dr. Mark Hernandez. He's the Chief Medical Officer for the Community Care Collaborative, and he's going to walk us through the progress over the past year and talk about what transformation really looks like when you put it in practice. Doctor?
All right. Howdy, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Okay, I got to test something real quick, so bear with me. Can you hear me from here? Yes. Is this loud enough for me to be able to walk and talk if I keep this volume? Okay, because this is going to work better for me if I can walk around to these boards. I'm going to start over there, but I just wanted to test that hypothesis before we began. So, to begin with, I guess everybody's going to do some thanks. I got a few thank yous I want to offer up before we get started with the main part of this, and I'm on a timer, so I got to get all this done. So I want to thank a few people. First, my colleague and friend Rosie Mendoza wanted me to, and I was going to do this anyway, so we're going to tag team on this one. We want to make sure and we thank Trish Young, Chief Executive Officer of Central Health, for all the hard work that she's done. I also want to call out the Central Health Board, and I know they've been recognized once before, but I personally am very appreciative of everything Central Health Board has done to make the CCC a reality. I also want to call out Larry Wallace. He's hiding in here somewhere. Oh, there he is. So Larry Wallace is my partner in crime. He's the executive director of the CCC as well as the vice president of operations at Central Health. He is the yin to my yang. He's the administrative side to what's happening in the CCC, and we couldn't do this without him, so I wanted to make sure he got recognized. And lastly, you may not know it, but I'm on loan to the CCC, probably loan forever, from Seton Healthcare Family. So I'm an employee of the Seton Healthcare Family, and I wanted to thank the Seton Healthcare Family, in particular Greg Hartman, for giving me the opportunity to do this work. So this is a dream job for me, and so I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be doing this work. So Greg, thank you, and the rest of the healthcare family for helping do that. Okay, y'all didn't want to hear all these thank yous, so let me get to the main event. Does anybody know what I'm holding up? That's a nickel. This is a nickel. So what does a nickel buy? Because that's the question, right? So the real people we got to thank, and everybody got to do that ahead of me, but I'm going to do it too. The real people we got to thank is Travis County. So Travis County made all of this possible, and they made it possible by giving us a nickel. But they didn't just give us one. They gave us 1.18 billion nickels a year. Okay, that's the value of the additional tax dollars that will flow into the coffers of Central Health to fund this work in nickels, 1.18 billion of them. So what do you buy for 1.18 billion nickels? Well, that's what I want to talk to you about. When you get a chance, well, in fact, let me walk here to this board. So when Proposition 1 got passed in November of 2012, that set the beginning stage for all of this work that's happening. And what is all of this work? It was taking that local tax dollars, that $59.5 million plus a federal match, and turning it into a series of investments in healthcare for Travis County. An investment in an integrated delivery system, the Community Care Collaborative. And that's who I'm the CMO for. What we're going to talk about primarily tonight is transformation and the transformation projects, but they live inside of this integrated delivery system. Support for the Dell Medical School. We've talked about that already. The importance of the creation of a top-tier medical school in Travis County. And then 30 transformation projects are being funded by this. 14 projects coming out of University Medical Center Brackenridge. 2 projects coming out of Dell Children's Hospital. And 14 projects currently, soon to be 15 projects, coming out of the CCC. These projects in aggregate are going to draw down about $500 million into Travis County to continue investment into healthcare. This is an incredible investment of taking what the voters gave us and turning it into, through federal match and through hard work, because this is pay for performance here, into real dollars that we can use to transform the delivery system. I definitely invite all of you to look through the brochures later and to come up and look at these boards, because I'm not going to talk about every point on these. This particular board talks about the 14 Community Care Collaborative Transformation projects. And I just want to highlight about 3 projects off of this board, because otherwise I'd get yelled at for taking too long. So let me start out with a women's health project, because I think that's an important part of what we want to do in the delivery system is augment women's health. So what I want to talk about is the Sexually Transmitted Disease Screening, Treatment, and Prevention Program. So this is a program because we know, particularly in women, screening for sexually transmitted diseases doesn't happen often enough. Sexually transmitted diseases in women can often be occult. They do not realize that they have a sexually transmitted disease until it can possibly cause lifelong problems for that woman in terms of infertility. It can cause lifelong issues. And so we wanted to make sure that we could augment screening availability for women in this community, and then when screened positive, offer them appropriate treatment to get that off the table. This is what this project's going to do through a variety of partners in the community.